let's walk through an example. Like with multiple choice, there is a very kind of tried and tested strategy, especially with a lot of the CPA multiple choice. There's definitely ways to make your time more effective. And especially now that you're in the electives, you've seen all sorts of multiple choice that CPA can throw off you, from like a page long to one sentence, quantitative, qualitative. There's a lot of stuff. But doing well on the multiple choice is about what is your strategy and doing it consistently. So let's walk through an example here, and we're going to go through kind of a step-by-step process to address this. So I'll put this question up again, but in general, what are we going to do here? I'm just going to walk through the steps and kind of flip back and forth between a few things to show you what we mean here. So step one is read the question. And I mean, that doesn't just mean like start reading it. It very much means read the required. So when you have a multiple choice question, this whole, like right here is the required. So, and I know from looking at the cores and the electives, a lot of candidates are already doing this. So it's maybe reinforcement for you as well. So we're just thinking like, what am I actually having to do? Because if you sit down and just start reading each multiple choice from the start to the end, you know you're going to have to go back and reread. So it's really inefficient if you're thinking, I need to free up time. I don't want to be stressed on this exam. So we see here, like, should any additional procedures be performed to address the risk related to the management bonus? Okay, fine. We know we're in the realm of assurance. We know they're asking us about procedures, and they know they're asking about some risk related to management bonus. Okay, fairly straightforward, not crazy technical, pretty reasonable. The other thing is when you're doing multiple choice, you have that opportunity to have them, they're printed right beside you. So hopefully you're being very active when you're reading it. All the literature shows that the more active you are when you're doing something, the more it encodes. Like if we just sit here and read, we probably only remember about 10% of something. So we really want to be active and circling and starring, and it is very, very helpful. Okay, so step one, we've kind of read the question. Step two, as you'll see on the slide, is really to kind of group. We want to be grouping or looking for patterns in the multiple choice. CPA does a lot of this. So you'll notice a lot of the multiple choice have clear repetition and things that you can easily kind of group together. So what do we see here? We see this has, and you're just doing a visual. You're not reading each response. You're just visually seeing how these things relate to each other. So we want to group. Why do we want to group? Well, this really helps us with elimination. And when we can eliminate more than one thing, we're like, this is pretty sweet for multiple choice. If I can eliminate two of the answers, that's awesome. And then I see that there's yes and yes. So I'm really like not going to have a choice of all four of these. This is not a four option multiple choice. This is a two option multiple choice question. Because once I figured out the answer to that, okay. So then I see that they're grouped like that. And then I look, well, can I see any other groupings? And yeah, there's lots of them, right? So I see the word occurrence here and I see the word completeness here. I see the word occurrence here and I see the word completeness here. So now my job is to figure out that the test either addresses occurrence or the test either addresses completeness. That's my first step. So by grouping things, I can figure out the steps that I need when I actually go back and read the question. So for example, here, the first, I've got to figure out the assertion. And two, I have to figure out, do I need another test? And those are going to have different answers. So for this one, I might need to read the whole actual question. For some of the other ones, I won't. But I need to answer two things here in order to eliminate. All right, so once I've done that, I'm actually going to say, okay, fine. I'm going to go read the question and I'm going to search for the information I need. So step three is I'm going to go up here and I'm going to search. Personally, I'm like super cognitively cheap when I do multiple choice. This one, it's short enough to read. So I'm going to start reading, but some of them that are a page long, I'm looking very clearly for just the information I need and really honing in on what I need to get to answer my question. Okay, so like I don't care what you don't care what the company name is. They receive a bonus based on net income. Great. You've performed a substantive test. All right, that's part of what I need to know. I need to know what the test is. This is important information. They've used sampling to ensure each sale is recorded. There is a corresponding sales order and payment was received. All right, so I need to know what the test relates to. I need to know the assertion. So when I read that, think to yourself for a minute, what assertion is that? So if for each sale recorded, there is a corresponding sales order and a payment was received. Is this going to be occurrence or completeness? This is going to be occurrence because I'm looking from the GL to some other corresponding documents already in the GL. It can't be missing. So now I've really eliminated a few responses. I actually haven't eliminated my yes versus no, and that's fine. I've eliminated the responses that say the test addresses completeness. So very quickly, I'm just crossing out B and D. Now I'm thinking, okay, you're asking me about a management bonus. I need to know if I think looking at occurrence of revenue is sufficient. Okay, either no or either yes, I think it's sufficient, so I'm choosing A, or I quickly read this, completeness of expenses needs to be tested. Yeah, I probably want to look at expenses if I'm looking at a management bonus, and I'm done. All right, so if you had just read this and then read this and then read this, it's fine. You could do that. But in the long run, this sort of approach, and I know I've showed you with kind of a more straightforward question, but the purpose was just to say, here's the approach that you can use and apply it to other questions as well. It works just as well for something that's long, just as well for something that's quantitative, with slight adjustments, of course, depending on what's in there. All right. The last thing I wanted to mention here is that you might never find the right answer. So it may be a case, like say this was the case and it just had three different assertions here, and it went occurrence, completeness, and then this one was accuracy. And I knew that this test was something about valuation. And so I go down here, it's not that one, it's not that one. I don't even read that one. Personally, I don't care because I've already eliminated the first three. So why would I spend some of my effort reading that one? I just trust my gut. I said it wasn't the first three, so it's got to be the last one. So multiple choice, if you can be confident with them and think, I've got good technical, the likelihood of me crossing out an incorrect answer when it shouldn't be crossed out is low, you can be extremely effective on multiple choice. Personally, I love multiple choice, but you only got to love it when I found a strategy for it. Just reading and answering is pretty tricky.